A lot of Caitlin Clark's fan base is racist.
Think the black zone and WNBA, you're going to get hung up one of these days.
And at one time, all of that hatred was directed solely at Angel Reese for doing the Tony Yayo in the championship.
She did it first in another game. And I was like, oh yeah, bet, say no more.
But now her fan base and the racism in it has spread out like a plague. And it's in every comment section that makes a tweet or a video about her.
And anytime that I bring up the Indiana Fever or if I bring up their point guard one, I know that my comments are probably going to get insane. You know, I have to block certain words. For example, monkey. Why would I have to block the word monkey?
These people are now harassing and threatening other players.
Our families are being threatened. Kids are being threatened. People are sending racial slurs.
And basically anybody that doesn't agree that Caitlin Clark is the best thing since sliced bread. And that toxic racist portion of her fan base is finally being called out.
In my heart of hearts, I believe, not coming from WNBA fans, Indiana Fever fans, you know, I believe that this is people who are using our league, using our players to further divisive agendas.
But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
I've been called the N-word more times in the last 24 hours than I have in the last 24 years in defense of Caitlin Clark. And this is why I suggested that Caitlin Clark has been more detrimental than she has been an additive. Not because of Caitlin Clark's ability, because those that have come to the defense of Caitlin Clark, and I use that word loosely, are spewing hatred, are spewing misogyny, are spewing racism, and that is detrimental to the W, it's detrimental to society, and it's detrimental to humanity.
That's literally been the case with Caitlin Clark fans ever since Angel Reese hit her with the Tony Yayo.
And just in the face. Where did you get it from? What was the influence of that? Was it Tony Yayo? Was it John Cena?
No, it's Tony Yayo for sure, but people don't realize that. Like, they think it's John Cena, but I really know, like, Tony Yayo was the one. But she did it first in another game. And I was like, oh yeah, bet, say no more, I got something.
Literally, from this moment on, white people, conservatives, MAGA rallied around Caitlin Clark and demonized Angel Reese, calling her a sore winner, unprofessional, being racist, and that opened up the floodgates. One, for Caitlin Clark to be as popular as she is, to build this huge, rabid fan base, and two, for her fan base to be racist and offensive to any other player or any analyst that did not like Caitlin Clark or they wanted to defend her from. And we all know racism is dumb and makes no sense, but these same people that tried to demonize Angel Reese did not have a problem when Caitlin Clark did the exact same thing.
Focusing on Alyssa Thomas, she made a basketball play. A play that was so common that it wasn't even seen as a foul. Alyssa Thomas didn't react, Caitlin Clark didn't react, because it was a relatively common play.
Not to them, to the extent that they even created AI video to make the foul much worse than it was. The original play looked like a basketball play. Awkward play, people are balanced, falling on top of each other.
I mean, Caitlin to the ground, and ooh, that's a...
This right here is what they were calling a punch to her throat. There was no weight, no pressure, no extra jab move or anything other than her trying to get up. But racists are going to do what racists do. So they had to create an AI video to make it much worse and way more intentional. Look at that. Look at that, made her smile at the end, have her on her for a full 8 seconds when she was barely on her for 2 seconds, have somebody pulling her off. Crazy work. They are now using an AI video of Alyssa Thomas smiling during the altercation. Don't let them gaslight you. It's already a messed up situation without putting a battery in the back of racists on this app. Too late.
Then based upon backlash, a play goes from not even being seen as a foul to being a one-game suspension, all in defense of Caitlin Clark. So, as I look at it, the individuals that are trying to act as though they're defending Caitlin Clark, they're not. They're just finding ways to unleash their own innate hatred, finding ways to unleash their own innate misogyny, finding ways to unleash their own innate racism, finding ways to unleash their own innate sexism, and they're doing so veiled as Caitlin Clark's fans, who don't even truly support the W, nor do they support Caitlin Clark.
Right, they're just racists that rally behind somebody to have a reason to be racist for. I don't really agree with the manual's original take that the WNBA doesn't need Caitlin Clark anymore. I think she's an absolute hooper. She is one of the faces of the WNBA. She is not the face of the WNBA, but I took my daughter to see her when they played against the Mystics. She's a crybaby, she's a whiner. She wanted every single call every time somebody made contact with her, but she is a hooper at the end of the day. He's getting so close, yeah, because he be on raccoon time at a lot of times. lives. All the racists from the Caitlin Clark fan base then go terrorize whoever has done something to her or disagreed with her on something. Alyssa Thomas says her and her family are getting called racial slurs by Caitlin Clark's cult. She even said her child is being threatened and called slurs because of the cult in Indiana.
A couple years ago, when we played Indy in the playoffs, same thing, but not to this extent. You know, our families are being threatened, kids are being threatened, people are sending racial slurs and all types of stuff. And, you know, there's a difference between trolling and there's a difference between hatred. And the hatred that we're experiencing over a play that honestly was a complete accident. No one even knew it happened. It's just unfortunate. But, yeah, the league has to do better in this instance.
But for some reason, LaShawn McCoy, of all people, said Alyssa Thomas needs to be more mentally strong and that the hate and racism she's receiving is part of the game and she just needs to deal with it, which is a crazy take. No fan should be being racist toward professional players. Black professional players shouldn't have to deal with racism or being called out of their names.
Get so many death threats and all the time and people saying stuff in my DMs. That's part of being sports, it's part of doing it.
No, it's not. And it doesn't make it right.
If you don't like it, you shouldn't play. Because what do you want the NBA to do? What do you want the NFL to do? What do you want them to do? You can't make fans not be fans. That's what makes fans special.
There's not much they can do about the hate on X. But if it's happening in their arenas, they should be kicking out fans. If they can track who's saying stuff online, they should ban them from being able to attend WNBA games. There should be repercussions for racism against professional players.
Now, you hope that nothing happens, but they get so passionate and they saying this and saying that, F you, F your mama. You've heard so many crazy things from these fans, and that's what makes the sport game so special.
That's such a crazy take.
Nobody should be subjected to that type of treatment whatsoever. Nobody should be subjected to having their addresses leaked, pictures of their house being sent to them, death threats in your DMs. That's something that can mentally shake you up. I don't care if you're an athlete or not.
Normalizing racist, deranged behavior is crazy work. That should not be normalized at all.
Not anything that you want to hear, not anything that you want to see, not anything that you should be sitting there and trying to compartmentalize because it's not normal and it's not okay.
Yeah.
I wake up at 6:50 a.m. to a no-caller ID number. And this is the first time I'm listening to this voicemail.
Yeah. Somebody had to do extensive research to find your phone number before they could leave you this voicemail. Is that correct?
Correct.
Manuel Echo, race baiting bigot.
You got Echo.
Man, stay out of women's basketball. You don't know talking crap like that, man. Who the fuck do you think you are? Think the blacks own the WNBA? Well, fuck yourself. You're going to get hung up one of these days, bitch.
Now, you don't love that? I love that.
LaShawn is raccooning right now. He loves racism. He loves a white guy threatening to lynch a black person. Come on, man.
So my thing is, it's not a Caitlin Clark issue.
These have been intimidation tactics used by individuals that sound like him towards individuals that look like us for the course of time. Shady, the end was, you better shut the F up. You're going to get hung one of these days.
Okay.
So, again, you're talking to your boy. I don't care. He ain't finna do nothing to me. But at the end of the day, you can't ignore.
That's sports. You gotta ignore. That's sports.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying what you can't ignore is you can't ignore the psychological impact that has on a human being.
I'm not saying all Caitlin Clark fans are racist. I'm just saying all racists are Caitlin Clark fans. Facts. And then it can't be that everyone else is lying except white supremacist Caitlin Clark fans. When Angel Reese said this, people disregarded it and laughed. Protect Alyssa Thomas, boycott the Indiana Fever.
You know, AT was talking about how she's received death threats, how she's received hatred comments, how addresses have been leaked. And I just kind of want to add on to that. You know, as a supporter of the WNBA and as a women's basketball fan, anytime that I make any kind of basketball content and anytime that I bring up the Indiana Fever or if I bring up their point guard one, I know that my comments are probably going to get insane. And sometimes it gets really hard for me not to reply back to those, but I have to block certain comments. I have to block certain words. For example, monkey. Why would I have to block the word monkey? But you have to because that fan base, or her fan base in particular, is insane. You know, one of the first things out of their mouth is, oh, y'all don't like her because she's white. We love Paige Beckers. We love Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink, Breonna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Jessica Shepard, Marina Mabry. Do y'all want me to keep going? The issue has to do with y'all always trying to make it a race thing, okay? And how y'all take stuff to the extreme. And it's sad because, you know, you have the WNBA commissioner, Miss Kathy, who let this slide that girl's rookie year, let it slide her sophomore year, and now we're in year 3, and now this girl's head has gotten big because now she knows that she can get away with whatever she wants.
Caitlin Clark is an unlikable brat who said, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, right before her teammate attacked this same player and wasn't suspended. Being white isn't the problem. Acting entitled while aligning with a racist fan base is the problem.
They're both going at it saying, hey, oh, there's a little extra right there. Uh-oh.
And you'll see a lot of this going on with Caitlin Clark, but because of the way she flops or falls and her fan base already being what it is, anytime anybody makes contact with her, they jump out to defend her and attack other people. How do you initiate the contact but then act as if you got fouled? The antics are tiring.
And then Clark's reaction, she grabs her, she flings that off arm and pops Vandalisini in the face. And of course,
Aaron did not get away, and it's Ford needed it. It is a big Clark ring.
all that. There's a couple of times they are talking to the official. They're both going at it saying, hey, it should be upgraded, but it said foul underneath or something against.
And people are starting to call it out. Most of these will qualify as a flagrant foul. At the end of the day, nobody deserves racism or the threats that's directed at them from Caitlin Clark fans. And whether the WNBA does something about it or not, it does need to be called out because these threats are serious. People are deranged nowadays. And maybe because some of her behavior on the court, where she's constantly flopping, begging for calls, acting like the victim, her fan base is even more rabid, feeling like they need to defend her against all the black people out there, and it's just not the case.
I just want to address, what's going on with AT. I think first and foremost, it's absolutely unacceptable. I think as a league, as a whole, there's been so much more toxicity, racism, homophobia, straight out like nonsense, hate nonsense. And it is absolutely unacceptable. Most of this coming from the online community, most of this, in my heart of hearts, I believe not coming from WNBA fans, Indiana Fever fans. I believe that this is people who are using our league, using our players to further divisive agendas. It's not acceptable.
But thank you for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.